Okay, so yeah, it's been a long time coming. I'm so sorry it's late, but let's get to it real quickly. All right, so I have a mix here that I've done. So I want to use this to talk about compressors and compression and what gates. All right, so compression and gates basically. So I'm just going to be using the kick. All right, so I'm going to be using the kick, one kick, snare, and a vocal. Vocal, yeah. So, sorry, let me turn that off and turn off all my effects. All right, so I have the kick here. All right, so this kick is pretty much mixed, but I'll just use it to explain. So I'm just going to bring up a gate first of all. So basically, a gate is basically what it is a gate, and a gate is used as a security measure to let's say in real life or realistically a gate is used as a security measure to stop somebody from entering or allow somebody to pass, come in and go out. So if you have our houses, we have security at the gate or something. The security is the person that opens or closes the gates, or in our estates, right? So the gate does not allow sound that is not needed to pass. Oh, I think I'm using the wrong kick here. I have a kick that is noisy here. Yeah. All right, let me use that one. Let me listen to it. Yeah, good, fantastic. All right, so I'll put a gate here. All right. So that's what gate does in audio. It allows or disallows signal to pass. So this kick now, for instance, we are hearing a lot of things. We can hear cymbals, we can hear the toms, and probably the snare as well. So basically, I want to use the kick or the gate to clean up the kick. I want only the kick. I want to be hearing only the kick. So I put my gate. So it applies with live mixers as well. We'll just turn on your gate on your mixer. And so we'll start with the threshold. So the threshold is basically at what level do I want the gate to close. All right. So right now the gate is completely open. Okay. So at what level do I want the gate to close? So I'll start taking my threshold up for my gate to close. Let me take everything down. All right. So that's so we're starting afresh. So I want my gate to open or close at, let me do, so you can see that the gate is already closing. With this blue line, you see that it's already working, but we can still hear those things because every other thing is not applied. All right, so it's like your physical gate in your house. You have bolts, you have padlock, there are a number of things that you use to ensure that the gate is properly locked or properly opened. So that's what all of these things are. And so the threshold is basically at what level do I want the gate to close. All right, so this kick, for instance, let me see if I can figure out where it's hitting, what level it is hitting. Okay, so the maximum transient of this kick is at, I think, around -15, thereabouts. So, but that's not important anyway. You may not be able to figure that out in live sound. So the kick is here. I'm hearing everything. So let me turn on my gates back. So this reduction range is like how many dB, like by how many dB do I want, that reduction. That's the reduction is the reducing the sounds we don't want. So I'll play it now. So you can see it's affecting the gate I close. So I need to open my gates back up. Okay. I usually like to put my reduction rate to almost 60 dB. Because by the time I'm done with everything, you will understand. So now, next is the attack. The attack is how fast or how slow do I want my gate to open? All right, how fast or how slow do I want my gate to open? So many times I do one, because this is a mixed project. It's not live. So for live you might do more or lesser than that. If I take it up, see that it's really fast, like it's very very fast. And it's not fast, rather it's not fast, so it's allowing many other things to still pass. But at this point you can hear more of only the kick. So at this point I think I've successfully gotten only the kick to come out. But then I'm still having some funny sounds. The kick is not really there. So I'll go to my release. And my release basically is saying how fast or how slow do I want the gate to close back. Alright. So I'll just take off my release a bit so that I can have enough of the kick signal before the gate actually closes back. So listen to it when it's all the way down, and then listen to it when I take it up a bit. But then we still have some things seeping through. Alright, like the toms. We still have them seeping through, but they are not as loud. And then the hold is for how long do I want the gate to stay open for before the release. Okay, so that's the hold there. So with the hold, we're able to shape our gates well. Let me reduce this and then take up the threshold. So there we have a gated kick. Alright, so this is not really perfect. It's still, let me increase it so that we can hear very well. It's still kind of, it's not perfect. We're still hearing all of those things, but it's nothing compared to what we had before. Alright, so you just play around with all of these parameters and you get the perfect sound for your gates or with your gates. Alright, but all of these things have impact on your sound because you lose a lot. So many times it's always good to use the proper microphones. It's difficult to find, but proper mic techniques and all of those things will help with your service or whatever you're using your microphone for, or whatever event you're using it for. So I've turned off the gates. It's back on, and we can hear the difference. I think let me just try and shape this and see if I can get something perfect. So yeah, that's just basically it. With some other mics, you will get a cleaner sound. I'm not sure the mic they used for this was good. It's not a very good kick mic. So yeah, so that's for gates. Now for compressor. So I'm just going to open up a compressor here. Alright, so we have a compressor here, right? And they have they have almost the same parameters, compressor and gates. So this is my kick. So compressor basically is it's like a transient shaper, or it's let me not say transient shaper. It's like a control measure, such that when your sound gets louder than the actual level, that the normal level. Okay, so when we're doing sound check, we always tell our instrumentalists to play, but at some point they might get excited during the show and play louder than what we sound checked. So usually we use compressor to help with that. It also applies for vocals. So our compressors, it just helps us to like manage our levels so that we don't have clips, or we don't have levels jumping at us. So so basically, like the word is compressor, it compresses signal. So but for drums, most times we use compressors to like really tighten the drums, especially the kicks and the maybe the toms and the snare. We need to really tighten the sound. And for snare, we use it helps with the transient of the snare. So I will just use a kick and a snare and vocal as example for the compressor. So I have my kick here again. At the threshold is at -10. So the same thing for the threshold is at what point do I want, at what level do I want the compressor to start working. So I can shape it how I want. See that it's over compressed. It's coming up. I think at this point we have something good. Let me on the kick to the gauge one. Okay, let me use a nicer sounding kick. Yeah, though it's much more, I mean, it's a mixed, very well mixed kick, but let's use it still. So I'm going to put a compressor here, right? You will hear very well what we are talking about. So I have a compressor here, it's over compressed. So that's for the threshold. At what level do I want the compressor to kick in? The ratio, basically ratio 2:1, 3:1, 4:1, simple mathematics. If we are at a 2:1, it means that when my kick compresses at this -20 dB, the amount of dB that was compressed, you have it. Right, you have that amount. And then so whenever the kick goes beyond this -20, so whatever amount of dB left over, you half it and bring it down. Okay, so that's 2 to 1 for 2:1. So we are going to half that level. So the remaining dB of the kick, like for instance now, this kick is being compressed by almost like -6, and this ratio is telling me that for that -6, so take away 3 from this 2:1. Take away 3. The knee is how hard or how soft do I want my kick. Me, I like to use a hard knee for my kick. Okay, so I like to use it because it's a hard hitting object, so I want it to be hard. All right, so you can see the difference in reduction. All right, so that's for ratio. Right, then for the attack, same thing. How fast or how slow do I want the compressor to kick in or to start working? So you just use your ears basically, and when it starts to sound really good, you are good to go. So that's basically. And then the release also is how fast or how slow do I want the compressor to stop working, and you also use your ears for that. And when you see that it's good, it sounds like a proper kick, then you can let it go. So like I said, this is already mixed. This is actually an already mixed song. So this kick is already compressed and cleaned up. It's actually a properly mixed kick already. So applying another compressor to it will be an overcompressing. So let's compress the other kick that I brought up and see if we can achieve something good from it. Okay, let's leave the compressor and the gate on. So we have that. So before and after, this threshold is too much. So I mean that's the gates will not allow us to hear that thing very well. Let me turn off the gates so you can see. Yeah. So if for this, you can say it's a lot more put together, like it's a lot more tighter. It's not all over the place like this. It's like it's spreading, but with this, it's tighter, like it's, it's tight, it's compressed. So for the makeup gain, you have lost some levels already. So makeup gain is to now generally add some level to everything. Alright, so that's just how the compressor works for the kick. Let me do a compressor for our snare, so I will show you how. It's not a clean recording. I'll show you how. Wow, that recording is not clean. So let me see if I have another snare. Oh, all this recording, I didn't use it for the song. I had to take them off, and then I triggered the kick and the snare. Let me use the snare here. Yeah, it's already compressed too. Okay, let me use this one. So let me show you how it affects the transient. Compressor. Alright, compressor here. So you can hear the key snare working already there. So now, sorry, my system is lagging. I'm actually exporting a video, so I don't want to delay, so that's why my system is lagging. It's working at the same time. Alright, so let's go back. So I have a compressor on my snare here. Now let me say I've already done all these things. I've done the ratio, everything. Now how the snare is affected is basically this. Let me increase the volume. It's low. Perfect. Oh, I put the compressor on the wrong channel, sorry. Yeah, the transient of the snare is affected with the attack. Alright, so when you have a slower attack, you have your transients come out more. And yes, when you have a faster attack, your transients are killed more. So that's just basically how that affects the snare. So at the end of the day, it's important that you use your ears to do all of these things. They're very, very simple. And if you still have any questions, please just send me a private message and I will respond as soon as I get it. Yeah, so let's go to vocals. I'm still going to go to gating for vocals. I'm going to talk about that, but I just want to finish up with this. So I will pick up let me pick up this vocal. Let me pick this one. Span to the right. Sorry, I'm going to take it out to the left, to the center. Oh, sorry. The audio that was sent to me was actually already panned to the right. I don't want to use the lead vocal, but I don't have any choice now. I use the lead vocal. So this is the lead vocal. Right. You take first place. So basically, same thing applies for for vocals. Sometimes the person can be singing softly and then they suddenly shout. It's compressor that we use to tame that shout so that it doesn't. The difference between our soft singing and our loud singing is not felt by the listener. Alright, so it just levels out, the compressor just levels out the vocals. Alright, and I'm not sure, because this is, like I said, an already mixed track, so you might not hear any low. You might not hear any low parts.
Then live.
These are bleeds.
Holy Ghost. More than
I already
live.
see the waves are already but that's what the compressor will do. The compressor will all balance everything out. So you compress as like normal, like I said, explained for the kick and the snare. You apply your compressor, your threshold, your ratio. For vocals, I like to do a softer knee, not so hard, because of the dynamics, the attack and the release and the makeup gain. So now, when we talk about the um when we talk about gates for the vocals, me, I don't like using gates for vocals because you're going to be killing the dynamics of the vocals. So I'll pick up a very dirty
You're more
vocal
than life
here.
to me. Holy Ghost, you take first place.
Oh, everything is clean. It's difficult to find something that is not clean in this track. I don't have any raw files on this system. Okay, let me bring one in. Mixes and edits. Not me. This should be 13. Yeah.
You take first place. Take first
Yes. Perfect. Now, if I'm going to apply gates on
Place.
this guy,
Oh.
right, I'm going to be affecting the dynamics. Now, you can see that the vocal is actually has a lot of bleeds, right? But this is where microphone selection is important. It's important that you select good microphones, or you use good microphones for your recordings or for your services, basically.
Holy Ghost,
If I
Take
if I
first
apply a
place.
gate here now,
take first place.
I'll
Take
successfully
first place.
remove the bleed,
Holy Ghost,
but I'm going to be chopping off
world to me.
vocals. So you mean the world to me. You missed
Holy
you
Ghost,
mean and head
you
on
mean the world to me.
So for vocals, I'm totally against getting vocal mics. I'm against it, whether in live or in studio, anywhere. I'm not a fan of it. I would rather use a proper mic that would limit the amount of bleed that will enter the mic, and I will position the mics properly so that they don't pick up unnecessary sounds. So that's for compressors. And for gates, I think we're good. Let me use this opportunity to also talk about EQing. All right, let's do that. Let's talk about EQing because I know some of us may have questions around that. So EQing is basically equalization, and it is separation of frequencies. All right, if I'm going to explain it in simplest terms, we use EQ to separate frequencies for different instruments. Every instrument produces almost the entire range of frequencies, right? But some of them have have their fundamentals in different bands of frequencies. So for you to be able to equalize properly, you need to understand your highs, your low mids, your high mids, and your lows, and understand where each of these instruments and voices belong to. All right, for me, I have a low mid to high mid voice. All right, for someone that talks very, very deeply, it has a low to low mid voice. All right, so you need to understand where for the kick, it's a basic instrument, it's a low end instrument. You know that it has its fundamentals in the lows. Bass guitar, same thing. For the lead guitar, acoustic guitars, we know that they have their fundamentals in the range of the highs, high mids, highs, and a bit of the low mids. All right, so any instrument that does not have any business in the lows should not have any boost around the lows. All right, so equalization is very simple. You want to equalize adequately, and I'll just do one example that you can apply generally. Very, very simple to equalize. Just pick one band of frequency. So I'm using the kick now. Is this soloed? Yes, I'm using the kick. Pick one band of frequency, right? Take it up and then narrow it down. All right, so 3 things you need to know in your EQ: your Q, your gain, and your frequency. Your Q is how wide or how narrow your frequency band is. All right, in parametric EQs, our EQs can go wide or narrow. And when we are doing narrow, that means we are zoning in on a particular frequency, but a little bit of the frequencies around it will be affected. And when we go wide, then it means that we are going in on a larger band or a larger band of frequencies. So to EQ effectively, just pick any band and narrow it. Play your instrument or ask your instrumentalist to play, and then take that band that you have narrowed and sweep. So this is what I mean by sweeping. So I'm going to start from here. Hey, sorry. So this is it. So while you are sweeping, you are going to be hearing what this instrument is producing across the frequency band, across the frequency range, and then you can hear the sweet parts of the instrument. So for example, for this kick now, I can find the sweet spot here, right? So I'll just drop that point for a more easier movement. I'll just drop the gain and then make it wider. Sorry, it's taking a long time to make it wide. Yes, I'll make it wider. Okay? And I'll make sure that it's not so wide that what I don't need is not added. So take another band again, another band of frequency, make it narrow. You can make it really thin, as narrow as possible. Look for the part that is not good or that is not sweet. Open up your cue again and then drop it. Okay? Drop it as needed. Again, your ears are very, very important. All right? And this is just how to EQ effectively. So because this is a DAW, I have about 6 bands I can work with. But on your digital mixers, you have 4 bands that you can work with. On a more higher end mixers, I think some of them have 6 bands as well that you can work with. So basically, that's it. Have fun, enjoy yourselves. Open up your software, practice, collect recordings from your church or any event you go to, multi-track the event, take it back home, play with it on your DAW, and with time, you'll grow very well. Thank you very much, guys. God bless you.